So last Saturday, we went down the rabbit hole in my SKOOL community group on hydration, from purified water, distilled water, electrolyte water, which type of electrolyte water, then there's hydrogen water, structured water. There's just so much. So we just kind of went down the rabbit hole. Everyone was sharing stories, which is a great part of the SKOOL community if you're interested. And first of all, let me just talk about like all the different stuff we came up with as far as different types of water. So all this kind of stemmed from this company that everyone's been seeing. Is called LMNT hydration. And their big thing is not everyone has the recommended optimal of sodium, which is what kind of started this whole thing, because everyone's led to believe now that sodium is not the greatest for you. It can push out your potassium, which is great for athletic performance. It could increase your blood pressure. The RDA for sodium is anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 milligrams, and potassium ratio is supposed to be a 2-to-1, 3-to-1 ratio, not exceeding 5,500 milligrams. So that's kind of the basis of where most of us thought. And then coming to find out this company's pushing, more sodium. And I think really this company is probably great for athletes or people that probably do sweat out a lot of sodium, and not a whole lot of other minerals are excreted out as quickly as sodium is during the kind of strenuous activity. And it's very hard to replace quickly if you're not replenishing yourself with what you lost. So I do agree that if you are one of these people who's a big sweater, who's doing 2+ hours of sports activity, then this drink probably is good for that specific event. Then I started getting ads on social media of this company, Electrolytes for athletes, and basically bashing on LMNT for saying they're using the wrong type of sweeteners. So on this one, magnesium's a little higher than the LMNT. Potassium chloride per pink Himalayan sea salt is 1,800 milligrams. Sodium's still a bit high, 1,000 milligrams, but it's per pink Himalayan sea salt. You're supposed to get a lot more trace minerals than just table salt. And their potassium's a lot higher to kind of offset that problem of your sodium-potassium balance. So this product is still a little bit high in sodium, but probably for more of the sports athletes. So here's what I take, Dr. Berg's Electrolyte powder. And if you take a look at this goes the other way. Potassium is around 1,000 milligrams. Sodium is down to 40 milligrams. And then you can see all the other ones, magnesium, calcium, all trace amounts, but all of which are good to have when you're taking high amounts of potassium, or else you'll start getting like heart palpitations. Still, you should worry about a drink like this because it's so high in potassium. Check with your doctor, because if you don't know what you're doing with this sodium potassium balance, you can really mess yourself up and go into cardiac arrest. There's horror stories of people having heart attacks from taking high potassium drinks like this. So it's meant to work with your doctor, obviously. But for someone like me, getting potassium from my daily meals in ratio to the sodium I was taking, it's just not even close to where I was supposed to be. And my doctor agreed. And so I just picked this supplement. It worked for me. I don't sweat a lot, so I'm not worried about that sodium intake. And I don't take it all in one hit either. I take it over several hours with a lot of water mixed in too. So anyways, that's what kind of started the discussion. Then we just started at the basics. All right, let's just talk about all the different types of water. What's good, what's bad about it. I'm not an expert by any means, but I have talked to a lot of experts on my shows. And that's the thing. There's an expert that talks about alkaline water. There's an expert that talks about hydrogen water. Who to believe. I do a lot of biohacking by myself, see how I feel. I journal everything, and then I go talk to my doctor, and we kind of see what works. But take it for what it's worth. So first one, everyone knows about tap water. And the biggest thing about tap water is, do they put formaldehyde in it? Most cities put fluoride in it. And there's theories on fluoride changing the alkalinity of your mouth to be more acidic. And that's when you start getting more teeth decay. Versus if you go with the fluoride-free options, you start building up that pH higher to get the more alkaline in your mouth. The theory is that then the bad bacteria can't grow. You don't get as much plaque. You can actually remineralize your teeth through your saliva. You can check out some of my episodes where I had some holistic dental experts on my show. So anyways, on top of that, you can maybe just take a Brita filter, right, through your tap water and get some of that out. Well, I've also talked to several different owners of water companies over the years, and basically telling me that the Brita filters, as well as like your fridge filter, basically gets gunked up and is worthless in about 2 weeks. So unless you want to sit there and cycle through filters every 2 weeks, then there's no real reason to even have a filter, because you're not getting any filtration. So I don't know if that's true. That's just what some of these business owners over the years have talked about. And that's why they then go to reverse osmosis. But with reverse osmosis, it's an expensive setup, anywhere from $3,000 to God only knows what to get this in your house. So seems a little rough. Then we start talking about bottled water. And then the whole thing is with bottled water is all the plastic that leaches from it allegedly can build up over time, especially if this is kind of a thing you're doing all the time. You can believe it or not, or you can go pay the money to go get tested and see how much plastic you actually got through your body. I'm not trying to pay that money. I'm just not drinking bottled water or anything out of plastics. And the other problem with plastics is, and I've tested this, the pH of water should be around 7, 6.5, 7, 7.2, something like that. And bottled water over time starts getting more acidic. And I've had the testing strips and I've tested that and seen it. So can't really be that great for you, in my opinion. So then we went to those water stores that you see. I currently just switched my Sparkletts water source to a local water store. And basically they have purified water. Now, I was getting mineralized water, but they couldn't offer it in glass bottles anymore. And it was just too pricey compared to some of these water stores that are local. So I switched to glass bottles, went to a local store, and now I'm getting purified water along with some alkaline water as well. And then now I can add my own electrolytes to it. So then we talked about distilled water, and distilled water basically has no minerals. There's nothing in it. The taste isn't that great. I mean, the only benefit, you actually can't drink too much of this too, because it actually will leach your electrolytes out of your body. I don't know how fast it does it and what's dangerous, but talk to your doctor about that. On the flip side, if you do long fasting, which I do once a month, this is a good way to kind of purge some toxic metals besides your electrolytes out of your body, and only do it for a short time and then put electrolytes back into your water. Also talk to your doctor about that, but that's kind of the discussions we're getting in the group going. Then we got to alkaline water. So with alkaline water, the theory is that bad things like cancer can't thrive in an alkaline state. It thrives more in an acidic state. Our kidneys and our lungs kind of balance our pH throughout our body. So one side is saying that the higher alkaline water dilutes your body to a little bit higher, around the 7.2, 7.4 range. So you're drinking like 8, 8.5, 9, don't quote me on that, versus drinking normal water, which may be a little bit lower on the scale. And if you have an acidic diet or acidic lifestyle, then your body is getting too acidic that the alkaline water will help with that. Well, on the other side, people are saying, yes, it does, but then your lungs and kidneys will self-regulate and pull you right back to where you were within hours. So I really don't know who to believe on that, but just to mix some alkaline water, since I already have it at my water store, why not? While we continue to do research and see what comes out. Then mineral water. Like I said, mountain spring water, everyone touts that being like one of the best water sources you can get. It has calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sodium in it. It's clean enough, naturally clean. It's not purified, but this is what we drink ancestrally. So when you do look at it, this is like parts per million. So how much calcium, magnesium, potassium, sodium are you actually getting from this mineral water? When I was looking at my mountain spring water per liter, I was getting a lot of magnesium, I think like 16 milligrams, not a lot. And even less sodium, way less potassium. So when you come down to it, a normal electrolyte powder that I add to purified water will slam dunk this natural mineral water. And that's my thing. If you're already nutrition tracking, you're tracking all your macros and your microminerals, you're going to know what you're deficient in. So either magnesium, calcium, no one's deficient in sodium, or potassium. And then you can make kind of pick the product that works for you the best and then add it to that purified water. So that's kind of my plan right now. So then it brings me to the different types of what you can do to water afterwards once you picked a good source. And I literally just had a water filtration expert that come on my show. He's been doing it his whole life, Mike Dillon. It was episode 557 if you want to check it out. And everyone's heard this with Gary Brecka and Joe Rogan talk about how good hydrogen water for you is. And I'm yet to get an expert on this specific product to come on my show. So I can't really talk too much about it, but this is some of the stuff I keep seeing everyone talking about, all the different benefits of being more hydrating than even alkaline water, or more hydrating than using Celtic sea salt. So looks like we got to wait a few more years to really see some good scientific evidence on this, but it's definitely on my radar. So one last little product I wanted to talk about was this magnetic stirrer that I saw on social media. And basically the whole theory of using magnets and a plate like this is to basically funnel this water into a thin bottle so you get that vortex of moving water. And what they're claiming is that it makes structured water, which you find more in fruits and some plants. And that structured water has been proven to be more hydrating than just drinking purified water or any type of water. And you go down the rabbit hole of both sides saying that it's BS, there's no such thing as structured water. And some are saying, yes, we've done extensive research, just hasn't been in the limelight of the FDA. So either way, for $22, I went and bought this product, started testing this out. And mostly what I'm looking for is on my Whoop tracker. Do I see any benefits from my burning more calories? Is my HRV getting better? Am I sleeping better? And every time I went on, week off of this product, Every week that I used structured water like this 2 times a day, it was the same amount of water I would typically have in a day. And my HRV was significantly higher every time. And going back to that episode with Mike Dillon from Air Water Healing, he mentioned the same thing with the hydrogen water. So our comment was, oh my God, what if we put those two together, do the hydrogen water, then throw it in one of these magnetic stirrers, get the synergistic effect, who knows? But I talked to my doctor about this and he's like, yeah, you can do whatever you want. None of this stuff is going to kill you. So he's like, just watch out for your potassium intake. When it comes down to it, out of all the water things that we've discussed today, potassium seems to be the one. Be careful, but do what works for you. See what you're deficient in. See all the different costs, all this stuff. But to summarize it all into one, I think the most important is just get some type of clean water or some type of filtration system going. Even if it's a Britter, maybe there's some hack to be able to clean that thing without having to buy a new filter every single 2 weeks, like that one guest had said. And then journal, do different types of water, do bottled water, and then just journal how you're feeling. Do you feel hydrated? Do you feel thirsty? How were your workouts that week? And then just go from there. But anyways, this is just something we were discussing pretty heavily last Saturday in my school group. And if you want to check us out, the link is in the bio. I think there's 19 spots left. It's a free group until I hit 100, and then I'll start charging. If you want, check us out. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.